good day. This is Chuck Cameron from OCTV, as you may know. I'm sitting here with Vernon Scott in Vernon's kitchen. Vernon, thank you for spending some time with us today.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
Yep. We're going to do a My Life program today on Vernon. He's got an amazing story, an amazing farm, cool family, and we're sitting in the kitchen, which is where all the good stuff happens.
Yep, this is where it happens.
Right, so just stay with us. I think you're going to really enjoy this guy who's been around here a week or two. So, Vernon, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for coming.
So, let's talk about now for a minute to figure out what you're up to today. And then I'm going to drag you back a few decades to when you were a boy growing up. So, what are you up to today?
Well, we're still farming here. We raise all kinds of livestock, cattle, hogs, chickens, goats, sheep.
Yep.
And we have a few peacocks and that kind of stuff too to go along with it. Plus we grow all hay. We sell hay and straw and grain.
What's the difference between hay and straw?
Hay is grass that grows, and then straw is from the wheat or oats that you harvest.
The bottom. Got it. Okay,
Yep.
cool. So you've been at this farm in a week or two, have you?
Yep, I'll be here 68 years from in May.
There you go.
My family's been here 180 years on the same farm,
Right here.
right here.
That's
My dad was born here. My grandfather was born here.
outstanding.
My grandpa died in this house. My dad died next door in the house that I still own next door.
Excellent. So, well, we appreciate you letting me into a house with so much history.
Yes.
That's pretty great.
Yeah. The lumber was cut in the woods. There was a sawmill in the woods when they came here. This is the second house. The first house was a log cabin. It was behind this one. And then they built this one in late 1800s. There's signed 2x4s upstairs that says 1899.
Excellent.
Any repairs that were done, somebody always wrote on the walls when different repairs were done to the house. And the bathroom was put in here in 1945.
So it's new, 45. So before that, bathroom was outside.
Outside, yep.
It worked for several thousand years of history.
Yes, it did.
It did. All right. So this is home for a long time for you and your kin.
Yes.
So let's drag you back then. Talk to me a bit, if you would, about growing up here. What was like when you were a boy? Did you have any brothers or sisters? And what were mom and dad like?
Well, I have two sisters. I have an older sister that's 6 years older than I am. I have a younger sister that's 13 months younger than I am. The daughter between myself and my older sister passed away at birth. My mom and dad were real good to us. They were a little older when they got married. My mom was born in Saskatchewan. My grandpa Kennedy was a veterinarian for the Canadian government. And he came to Ontario from England. And then he was sent by the Canadian government to Saskatchewan as what they called breaking the prairie. When the horses started going out there to work the prairie, he was sent by the government out there. My mom was born out there. She was born in 1919. And they stayed in Saskatchewan until the 30s when the Dust Bowl happened. And they moved back to Ontario and continued to farm in Ontario. And then my dad sold dairy cattle back and forth to Canada with my uncle from Lapeer. And that's how they met. My uncle married my mom's sister.
Outstanding.
And then my dad, my uncle said, well, you need to meet her. And that's how it all happened in 1948.
48. Excellent. All right.
And my dad built the house next door in in the late 40s so that they could have a house, and they were married in Canada.
Got it. They came here.
Yeah.
What was it like at home when you were a boy? Talk to me a little bit about growing up on a farm.
We milked 45 head of cows.
Twice a day.
Twice a day.
Every
7
day.
days a week. Yeah.
Right.
Plus had all the young stock. We had registered Holstein cattle. Plus my dad and grandpa and the Waits grew potatoes along with the other crops. Waits were strictly potatoes. My dad and grandpa grew corn and wheat and oats and that for the cattle. And so, yeah, it was typical day. Was up at 4:30 in the morning, milked the cows, then did what chores you had to do during the day and got stuff. We also raised produce. My dad and grandpa had a stand at Oakland Municipal Market, which is now Oakland County Farmers Market.
Oh, yeah.
And it was downtown Pontiac.
Okay.
And then they also had a stand at Eastern Market
That's a
in
hike then.
Detroit. Yep. And they took potatoes and produce down there, strawberries, apples, cherries, all that, along with.
Did they drag you along from time to time of those?
I was the Eastern Market when I was 3 years old.
Got it. Working.
Yep, yep. I started selling produce on the corner of Ramsey and Seymour Lake, or Sashawa, when I was 6 years old. And my sister, older sister, we sold. My younger sister wasn't healthy, so she stayed around the house. Yeah, we sold produce every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday up at the corner because there was a Jewish camp around the corner,
Okay.
and we'd catch the people bringing their kids out all summer long. We'd take our red wagon, and I still have the red wagon, and I still have the little old jewelry box that we had kept the money in.
Kept the money.
We drag it up the road, and then my dad and grandpa would come up and check on us halfway through the day, bring us more produce, and we'd stay there until almost dark.
Did you have a table or anything? You just
Just a little
Yep.
little table.
Just a little
And
table. Got it.
yeah, we had quite a little business over the summer selling our produce, and corn and tomatoes and cucumbers and beans and all that kind of stuff.
For farm kids, the summer vacation isn't quite so much a vacation as it is for city kids, is it?
No. You had your chores to do. You had, in the wintertime when we went to school, we didn't have to go to do chores in the morning. My dad and mom would take care of the chores and grandpa. But in the afternoon, as soon as you got off the school bus, you changed your clothes, you grabbed a quick sandwich, and out the door. Dinner was at 6 o'clock, right on schedule. My dad always wanted supper, as close to 6 o'clock as he could, because, they
Predictable.
sat down and take a deep breath and
Take your breath.
watch a little bit of TV on the 3 stations we had in black and
Yep.
white.
2, 4, and 7.
Yep. And then 50 came along later on.
50 was crazy. Yeah. Wow. Yep.
And I remember my dad, we had very expensive cattle at that time. And we showed cattle when I was old enough to show dairy cattle.
Right.
And it was funny. Whitstock's owned the Gamble store in Oxford.
Okay.
And Mr. Whitstock and my dad were real good friends. And he called in 1964, I remember in the fall, he called my dad and he says, "I got something here at the store you got to have."
Okay.
And my dad says, "What's that?" And he says, "A colored TV."
Ooh.
And my dad says, "Oh." He said, "I'll be right in." And my mom she said, "We don't need that thing. We don't need that."
Don't need it.
And my dad says, "Well, if I can afford it, we're going to have it." So a company in Lapeer called Vesley's, they wanted one of my dad's expensive cows.
Oh, a little swap.
And so my dad went and looked at this TV. My mom went and had the antenna installed, and the TV brought to here was $700.
That's a ton of money back then.
Back in those days, yeah.
Wow.
Well, our cow that he was selling to Vesley's up in Lapeer, which was Apache Ranch,
Got it.
was $700. So he called them up, said, "Cow's for sale." They came down and picked up the cow, and we got a TV. So for Thanksgiving, everybody came to our house to watch colored TV.
That they did.
Because all my cousins and my grandparents and everything came to watch that parades and that on a colored TV because they'd never seen that before.
You were the hot house in town. Yes, sir. There can't be too many trades where people get a TV in exchange for a cow.
Right.
But it clearly was an amazing cow, and there was an amazing TV at the time. Good. Excellent.
We had that for years and years. I mean,
Well, I imagine you got lots of good stories. We're gonna take a break for a minute to give you a chance to breathe a little bit, and then we're gonna come back. So when we come back, we're gonna hear more amazing stories about the Scott Farm. And Vernon, what a story. So stay tuned. Stay with me. All right. Don't go away.
Kids across America are going to school hungry. Millions of kids every day. Hungry kids get sick more often and can struggle in school. It can be harder for them to focus and learn. But one simple thing can help change all of this for a hungry child in America. good healthy food, and the energy it brings. With help from caring people across America, No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures.
We want to ensure that all of our kids have healthy meals every day.
Thank you.
Thank you for helping feed our kids.
To learn more about ending child hunger in America, go to helpnokidhungry.org today.
What a life so far, my friend. You were telling me offline that your dad taught you a lot about work and that a farmer always has to have a second source of income. Tell me about that.
Well, if times get rough, on the farm, you need something to fall back on to make a little bit of cash. So my dad and my grandfather were both finished carpenters and cabinet makers, which followed down the lines.
Right.
And that's what I do. Every once in a while I'll do custom cabinets for somebody. Or when I was younger, I finished houses at night, farmed during the day, and finished finished houses, trimmed up. That was back when you still used a hammer and a nail.
Yep.
Today you got all this fancy air nailers and all that, and fancy saws. It was all hand saws and hammers and nails. But we did it.
So you learned a lot of work ethic from Dad. What did you learn from Mom growing up?
How to bake and how to sew.
Oh, those are practical things.
Yep. I can cook you a fancy meal and bake you a cake and make a pie and cookies and I can sew a button on a shirt. I've even made back in 4-H we made shirts, we made aprons, towels, blankets.
Get it done.
We did it. We learned it all.
A lot of skills.
We had a lot of 4-H leaders around here that of course, Grandma and Grandpa and my mom and dad taught us how to grow vegetables.
Right.
And then there was an older single lady, Olive Taylor, that lived on Seymour Lake Road. She taught us all about trees and plants and all that.
Nice.
And then the Wrights raised hogs on Seymour Lake Road. Both Mrs. Taylor and Wrights lived on Seymour Lake Road. The Wrights, she taught us how to sew along with my mother.
Right.
And Mr. Wright taught us about animals and livestock and processing milk because he hauled milk for years.
Yep. Lots of good skills, huh?
In our lifetime,
So where'd you go to high school?
I went to Oxford High School.
Oxford High School. Did you like school?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of boring sometimes.
Give you a break from all your work out here?
Right, yeah.
Got it.
But,
Any teachers while you were there that made a big impression on you?
Mr. Billman was a biology teacher.
Okay. What was the draw there?
Because I wanted to be a veterinarian, like my grandfather in Canada.
Yep.
So, he would let me do whatever I wanted, projects. If we had after we quit milking cows in '66, I started raising hogs.
Right.
And, if we were doing dissection, if we happened to have a little pig that didn't make it, he'd bring it in and I'd bring it in and we'd dissect it with the class.
Take it apart
and stuff like that. Chemistry was Mr. Agar.
Okay.
He was an Oxford teacher for a long time too. I like chemistry. He made a lot of influence on it. Nutrients in growing crops and that, you've got to know all that. That's part chemistry.
It's a lot of chemistry.
Putting all that stuff together.
Yes, sir.
And
after high school, what did you do? What did you want to do, and then what did you do?
I went to Michigan State University. I started out to go to veterinarian school.
Right.
That was in the 70s. That was women's lib, and
Yep.
foreign was the big thing at that time.
Yep.
I was told that I wasn't going to get into veterinary school that year. So I went ahead and I have a degree in agricultural management
Yep.
and a degree in elevator and farm supply. And it's lucky it happened that way because my dad passed away. And so I had to come home. I would have had to come home anyway.
Sure.
Because the farm fell in my hands because both my sisters were off doing what they're both registered nurses. They're both retired now. But so I came back to home.
Now it is your farm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. My mom lived here till she passed away in 05 at 85 years old.
Ah,
Dad was only 61 when he passed away.
that's a hard loss.
He died in my arms. He had a massive heart attack and died in my arms when I was 21. So, yep.
That's a hard step into adulthood.
Yep. it was rough, but
Yep.
we made it through. So we're still going strong.
You're still going strong. Did you someplace along the way get married?
Yep, I got married. The wedding was planned, and so was the new house with my dad. And
that's good.
we waited 2 weeks after he passed away,
Yeah.
and we went ahead and dug the basement because he had already helped. He'd painted all the doors and windows, the wood windows, and he knew exactly. He and I planned on building the house
Of course.
ourselves, but I ended up hiring a company to build it.
Yep.
And then we got married in November of '78
Got it.
because that was his wishes, and he wanted, he didn't know, but everybody said your dad liked your wife, and my wife's Cheryl. She graduated from Oxford High School same year as I did.
Yep.
So everything went as planned except for that loss of him.
One big loss.
Yep.
What's Cheryl like? What's your bride like?
She works right along the farm. She was a city girl.
Okay,
so,
that's a big shift.
Yeah, we had to, she had to adjust to the farm life, and when I remember the first time she came out here, she lived right outside Oxford on Indian Knolls. First time she drove out here, it's only 5 miles. She goes, I thought I was going to the other side of the earth. Now she says, we're too close to town.
Too close, yeah.
Too many houses on here. But when I grew up, there was only 3 houses on the road. We owned 2 of them,
Yep.
and there was one down at the corner of Seymour Lake and Ramsey.
At that point, did they drop Seymour Lake down like it drops down Baldwin and then over and then down again and over? It was still like that even when you were growing up?
Yes, there was a Y at Seymour Lake and Ramsey. There was a Y. You went
Right.
to the west or south and north. That went out there when I was in 6th grade, if I remember right. They took that out. I can remember when Seymour Lake was dirt,
I bet you can.
all the way to M15.
Yep.
That
was way before all the way to, and there's no 75 then either.
No, 75 wasn't there. They always said when 75 went in, the weather changed.
Why would they say that?
All that concrete, the heat from the concrete.
Interesting. Well, you got to have a reason for things,
Yep,
right? You gotta have a reason.
A lot of the old farmers and that said that the temperature,
They believed.
they changed it when they put 75 in, and the more concrete they lay, I still go back with the old guys. They say that more building and more that we can't replace the open ground.
Got it. So you're still hard at farming even now. But so during the time you said you milked until the 60s,
Yeah,
and you stopped milking and you went into something else.
beef cattle and then hogs. Yep.
Now, your neighbors, were there people around here who, other than family, which is wonderful for you, were there neighbors who you got to enjoy hanging around?
Yeah, as some started moving out here. Of course, we went to Oxford schools. The neighbors to the west went to Ortonville schools
Okay.
because half the farm is in Oxford School
Really?
District and half the farm is in Ortonville School District, Brandon schools.
How many acres do you have?
We have 82 left.
Got it.
When the Ramseys came here in 1846, they bought 600 acres.
They bought a whole section.
Yeah, and they're buried down on Dartmouth, south of Oak Hill Road.
Ramsey's, thus Ramsey Road, right?
Yes.
Pretty cool.
Yep. They were land investors, and they did it. It's hard to say, but they were gamblers. They spent a lot of time. They didn't want to farm, even though they did, and that's how they had a sister named Sarah, and she ended up marrying a Scot, and that's how it became Scots. And I can't remember what year they got married, but it was way back in the 1800s.
Scots ever since.
Yep.
Excellent. All right. Cool. Well, amazing stories. All I suspect you could spend a bunch of time. We're going to take a break again. And when we're going to come back, we're going to take a look at a little more recently, what you've been up to in the last 15 or 20 years, how life is out in the farm, and maybe look ahead to where you think things are going locally. And we won't talk about nationally, but you stay with me, would you? Because since it's your kitchen, you're not going anywhere.
Right.
You stay with us, and we'll be right back.
Yes. Oh, hi. I suppose you're wondering what an A-list celebrity like me is doing in a place like this. You must know, I'm saving the world. Oh, hi, Beth. Yep, Saving the world again. Did you know that 40% of all the food produced in the United States is thrown away? That means everything that went into that food, the pesticides, the water, the land, was all for nothing. Just look at this perfectly good food thrown in the trash. The pizza with extra Cheerios, these goldfish and Band-Aid tacos. And just look at this perfect trash burger. This pasta dog looks delicious.
You don't have to dumpster dive like Ed Begley Jr. to save the planet. Fight food waste by shopping smart and using what you buy before it gets trashed.
That's way better. Ooh, arugula.
Do your part and find out other world-saving tips at betterthaned.org.
All right, we're back. Thank you for coming back. I think you'll enjoy it. This is a great bunch of stories here. Man can be a storyteller for all time. So you're farming, you're an adult, you've got a wife, you've got some kids now. Tell me about what it was like to become a dad, and how did you change when you became a dad? Was that an influence on your life that helped you develop skills that you didn't know you had?
Yep. I have two sons. Adam is 43 years old, Andrew's 38, and then we have two granddaughters.
Yep.
Andrew has two daughters, Skylar's 15, almost 16, and Brooklyn is 12. They all live here on the farm. There's 3 generations on the farm. The only time there wasn't 3 generations that I know of was my mom passed away in 2005 and Skylar was born in 2009.
So there's 4 years when there were only 2 generations.
2 generations, yep. So, but yeah, we still raise cattle, hogs, chickens, sheep, goats. We only raise hay now. We buy all our other feed from local farmers.
So becoming a dad, what skills or what characteristics did that develop in you that you didn't know you had?
Well, being that I grew up with everybody here on the farm all the time, we took care of everybody. I learned that I had to take Adam to the field. I set car seat up on the fender of the tractor when we were planting corn, and he sat there, and then combining, he would fall asleep in the combine cab, and when we were combining corn or wheat, and that way Cheryl still worked in town. She worked with the Oxford Leader for years. So I took care of him. I did, fed him, and the only thing I wouldn't change was diapers. I was not a diaper person, so.
You decided you'd let somebody else take care of it.
Yep. I wasn't, Cheryl said, you can play in the manure out in the barns. I don't know why you can't take the diapers, but it was just one thing that I didn't do, but I made sure that he was taken care of all the time. And
well, despite that obvious lack of skill, you seem to have developed a couple of other extra skills along the way to make
Yep.
Cool.
We take care of everybody,
So going from dad to grandpa, how'd that change you? You just developed?
That was the greatest thing. I mean,
Tell me.
the boys were great, but having granddaughters,
It's a different game.
show them the ropes. They both love the farm.
Yeah.
They want to continue it, and so along with the boys, they'll if something happens to me, they want to continue. So we're making that possible.
Excellent. So when you're not farming, which I imagine is about 21 hours a day, are there any other things that you enjoy doing?
I drive motor coach, over the road bus.
Yeah.
I started out when I was 21 for the 4-H, needed a driver to drive them to different places, so I started out then. And then I drove school bus for 16 and a half years. Mm-hmm. I started out in Oxford. They didn't have a full run for me, so I went to Brandon. I worked there 16 years. And then I went back to coach after my mom passed away. And I've been doing that for 16 years now. I've seen the world, or the country, I should say. I lack 3 states in the continental United States of seeing it all.
Really?
And people look at my pictures and they go, "What's that spot on there?" And I says, "Well, that's a dead bug. That's from a windshield of a bus." So, yep, I've been everywhere.
What do you like about driving? I mean, farming is very hands-on. Driving, you just run the rig. That's a different kind of gig.
I like to see the country. I figured that's, with the farm, we're always stuck here. I take one day. I work in the winter, in the spring. I don't work in the summer at all. I've got that made out with the company now that we work for. They know as soon as school's done, I'm gone for the summer. I come back late in the fall after pumpkin harvest and all that's done. And but yeah, it's fun to be out there and meet people and see the sights. I figured that's the only way I'm going to see the whole country is behind the wheel of a bus. So.
Well, it sounds like you've seen a whole lot more of our country than most people, even those who take a vacation here and there.
Yes.
This is pretty cool. Where do you, if you had to pick a spot that you'd enjoy going back to and just maybe spending a week hanging around, relaxing, where would you go?
Actually, and we're planning this. We want to go to Calgary and Banff in Canada because I still have relatives out there. Yeah. We have both sides of the family have relatives in Canada. I'd like to go back out there in Alberta, Calgary, and that again.
Big country.
Oh yes, yes. It's changed a lot too since I've been out there. But the Midwest is fantastic. Wyoming, Montana, South Dakota, North Dakota. You don't have the traffic like you have here.
Go.
Yeah, and it's just just seeing the countryside.
Good. If you had to look ahead, look local here for a minute. You're an Oxford and Ortonville boy from forever. If you look in town, what do you see from Oxford as far as what it needs to do in the future, be in the future? What do you want for Oxford to focus on? Anything like that?
It needs to stay the way it is.
Okay.
Not too big modernization. The local stores stay local, buy local. We've got to have the big box stores, but I wish we still had an old-fashioned hardware store, an old-fashioned lumberyard.
Like Tom's?
Yep, because that was just the way it was. I mean, the old Gamble store, they had everything. The old Five and Dime, Gross Five and Dime. I mean, you got to go and see what you were buying. I still don't like online. I want to see the materials and see the stuff that I'm buying. So, but yeah, I want to see it. The little shops, the local shop, people, still hands on.
Well, it seems to be they're trying to keep smallish and localish, and a lot of shops are setting up there. Yep. The thing that puzzles me is you can open a shop and then 2 years later it's closed down. So open another one, it closes down. So some businesses just don't seem to prosper here.
Right. Well,
maybe that's because they can get stuff from other places or on their computer.
Right. That's the big problem. Is they're using the computer to buy most stuff. That's why your big box stores and that are going down too, because they can't compete.
Yep. You said you've got a store here in Ortonville. Before we close down, I want to give you a minute to talk about your store in Ortonville.
Yeah, we have a store in Ortonville. It's called Scott's Farm General Store. Yep. It's like a 50s, 60s old general store. Yeah. Nothing fancy. We sell our own meats, beef, pork, chicken, lamb, duck, rabbit. Mm-hmm. We also sell turkey from an Amishman. We have eggs, our own eggs, plus we also have eggs come in from the Amish. We have Amish jarred goods, we have Amish baked goods, and we have Mennonite jarred goods too.
That's a lot of sources of a lot of really good sounding food. Yep. You make me hungry.
Yeah, I want it to stay as natural as we can.
And where is it?
It's on M15 at Glass Road in the Eagle Point Plaza.
Got it.
Right next to Little Caesars.
Well, I think if you all have as much sense as I think you do, you'll probably run right out there and buy some really good stuff, because it sounds good to me.
Yep, it's all natural, all I eat, no antibiotics, no hormones, no vaccines.
Well, Vernon, I want to thank you. You have been delightful to get to know, and lots of stories here. We appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your day to sit and talk with us. So thank you.
I appreciate it, thank you.
Ready? So for Vernon, this is Chuck Cameron saying, stop by their store in Ortonville, and until I see you next time, this show is my life, or with Oxford TV, and we hope you have a really good day.